Yo, what's up guys? I'm back with another video, very different style of video today, because today I'm going to be making a video on Peaky Blinders, which is one of my favourite shows, and they recently released a trailer for Season 6, which will be the final season, confirmed by both the trailer and by the writer before the trailer came out. This is going to be the final season. They did say, however, that the story will continue in another manner, so whether they're going to put out like a movie or a spin-off show or a book, I don't know, but maybe like one of the minor characters will get a story, we don't know. But what I'm going to do today is I thought I'd make a video making my predictions as to what I think will happen in the upcoming season. So I've got 5 predictions, and these could all be wrong. I'm just going off sort of what the story has done so far, like the writing tropes they use, and just my own personal opinion. So my first theory is that Michael is not the one who betrayed Tommy. So obviously at the end of season 5, we find out that Tommy's been betrayed and his plot to kill Mosely fails. Now, the only way that this plan could have failed is if someone from the inside obviously betrayed him. So there's a few candidates, and the most likely seeming one was Michael, because after they had their famous confrontation in the bar, Gina says that they might have to go to plan B.
Guess we're gonna be forced to take the second option.
Now, I don't think she was talking about birth control, considering the fact she's already up the duff. So most people were saying that to get Tommy's attention, they betrayed him and fucked him over, essentially. However, I don't think Michael was the one who betrayed Tommy, just because that was the narrative that was being pushed so hard in the last season. And I don't think it'd be very entertaining for us to just know who it was before we go into the season. Yeah, I mean, you don't know, but it's like he's the most likely guy. I feel like the show wouldn't do that. I feel like they'd have more of a twist. A candidate I really like for the role would be somebody like Billy Grade, who was absolutely terrified. I mean, really shitting bricks whenever Arthur comes around. And he was also, sort of one of the lower level guys, one of the guys who wasn't supposed to be clued in, but Finn sort of let slip. I also thought it would be quite fitting for the show if Finn, the younger brother, the guy who's always been seen as the one that Tommy didn't get round to, was the one who would end up betraying Tommy inadvertently by letting slip about the plan. See, obviously Billy Gray does reach for the phone at the end, which is a much more subtle thing than what Gina said, obviously, in the end of season 5. So I think that Billy Gray is a likely candidate. However, Johnny Dogs is also in the running because of the fact that, again, Tommy said that Johnny is the only person he trusts. And I think if that's going to be something that Tommy says, I feel like that might come back to bite him, because the whole show's sort of about Tommy and his trauma. And I think him trusting somebody so much, just have them betray him, would be sort of it would be very fitting for the show. But my candidate is Billy Gray to have betrayed the Peaky Blinders. So my second prediction is that Tommy will end up dying at the end of the season. Sort of an obvious one here, but I feel like I had to point it out. Most people were assuming that something was going to happen, something very substantial was going to happen. Obviously, it's the final series. If there is going to be a story continued on in some other medium, it might be about like a spin-off character, maybe like a side character like Arthur, or maybe about Michael, what his time in America was like, something like that. But I think Tommy sort of has to die. The story sort of lives and dies with him, much like in Breaking Bad the story lived and died with Walter White. I think Tommy dying in the end of season 6 would sort of be the only way to fulfill the story, if that makes sense. And I think on top of that, I think Tommy will die for a noble reason, because Tommy's obviously done some very bad things. He's a bad man. Let's not get that any other way. And he admits to being what he is. He's killed countless people. He does terrible things just to make a bit of money, just all for himself and his family, really. But he does bad things, but he does actually have some good intentions. And you see towards the end of season 5 especially that he is trying to do something good. With the whole betraying Oswald Mosley, he tries to keep up appearances and make people think that he's still this horrible tyrant who just sort of wants to make a shit ton of money. But at the end of the season, you basically confirm that the reason he's working with Mosley and trying to kill Mosley is just because he doesn't agree with him and he thinks that he's bad for the country. Also, the way he tries to save the boy's life, which was a very nice character building moment, and he obviously feels deeply ashamed about that. There's obviously also like little things he says throughout the seasons, like keep your new child away from me. I don't want to infect them with my PTSD and my determination to make wealth. Also, it is worth noting that the main thing Tommy does care about is his family, despite how much it shows that he's pushed them away and has ruined basically everything. I mean, he lost one wife, his other wife hates him, one of his kids is terrified of him, he's lost a brother. I think, the way he pushes them away, but he's actually leaving this all to them. I think if he dies and leaves it all to his family and those remaining, those that he trusts, those that he loves, and maybe, ends up taking out Mosely, dying as a martyr, to stop this evil from spreading throughout the country, I think that would be a very great ending for the show. And I think Stephen Knight and his writers are very good, so I think that they could very easily pull that off and make it work. Staying on the theme of the last one, I'm going to say that Mosely is going to be killed by Tommy himself. I think Tommy will pull the final trigger. The issue I had with last season mainly is the fact that Tommy sort of took a back seat. I mean, obviously he masterminded it all together, but Tommy's character is sort of, he does everything himself. He's the classic, Sigma male. I know that's a bit cliche, but you know what I mean? He is that guy. He doesn't really let his family on a lot of things. He only tells his family when he wants them to do something. I know most of the killings he does by himself. He did set up this one for Mosely as well, but I feel like Mosely being the big bad for 2 seasons running now, it would sort of make sense for Tommy to kill him himself, especially because I feel like it would be much more poetic than just him hiring someone to kill him, because in the last season, obviously Chester Campbell was the biggest villain from season 1 and 2. I think that Polly killing him has a sort of semblance because of what he did to her in prison. Again, that has emotional weight, but this guy Barney Thomas, we see him for 2 episodes. It wouldn't be very satisfying if he was the one who killed the main villain of the final season. So I think, all in all, I think Tommy will deliver the final blow. I think it may be an all-out war between the Peaky Blinders and maybe between some of Mosely and Jimmy McCavan's men, and I think Arthur will end up probably killing Jimmy McCavan as well, as sort of revenge for Polly, in a way, because obviously Jimmy McCavan killed Abraham Gold's son, and obviously Polly and Abraham were romantically involved before Abraham died. Obviously the actress of Polly won't actually be in the final season, but which will be a real big shame because she'll be missed. But they've also had this rivalry going on between Arthur and McCavan, so I think those two fighting it out and Arthur winning would be great. And I think Tommy and Mosely, the 2 underdogs and the 2 big guys fighting each other, I think that would be a real nice way to end it. So this next one about Churchill having a big part in the final season. Now this is open to interpretation because I don't really know what it will be. Maybe Churchill potentially betrayed Tommy, although I find it unlikely because him and Mosley's political ideologies are polar opposites of each other. But I think Churchill will have a much bigger part to play, I think. I mean, Churchill's one of the most iconic characters in British history. You're not going to just leave him on the sidelines for the final season. I think Churchill will have a big part to play, making Tommy this sort of hero who defeat fascism. Maybe that'll be a thing he does, or maybe he'll, help Tommy to take down Mosely, or, maybe he'll do something for the Peakies after Tommy's gone. I don't know yet. Maybe he'll have that dinner with the family. Maybe that'll be it. But I feel like he'll be more involved this season than he has been in any of the other seasons. Obviously, season 1 he was in it a little bit. Season 2 and 3 and 4 he wasn't really in it at all. Season 5 obviously he was in it quite a bit. But I think this final season he'll be one of the main features in the show. Now the final prediction is that I think Arthur will indeed meet a new woman and have a life, and have quite a happy life. Obviously Arthur is probably the most tortured character in the show, probably even more than Tommy, because Tommy sort of manipulates Arthur and uses Arthur as a way to sort of get his own means and to make himself feel better. Arthur's just being pushed around like a dog toy, Him and John were obviously a bit more closer than Tommy and John were, Arthur and John just seemed to have that next level bond, and obviously he lost John. He obviously did lose Linda as well, sort of at the fault of Tommy, really, to be honest. So I think that, again, Arthur's been the most tortured character. Obviously you can really visibly see his struggle where he's been told to kill and kill again. So I think him moving away and having a happy life would be sort of a nice arc for him to have, and for Arthur to be the one to get away and live a nice life with a new woman, and have his kids be looked after and stuff like that. I feel like that would be nice to see someone because it's a very dark show. So I think having one of the most tortured characters actually go on and succeed in life, you know, after his brother, the one who's been torturing him for a lot of it, sacrifices himself for him. I feel like that would be sort of perfect. So there you are, there are my 5 predictions. They may all be completely wrong, they may all be completely right. We won't know until the second season comes out. I think it's sometime in the spring, hopefully it'll come out soon. But yeah, if you enjoyed and want to share it around, feel free, leave a like, subscribe as well so you never miss a video on the channel. I might make more shows. I've already made 2 other videos about the Peaky Blinders, which you can go see. I'll probably put a card up on the screen now or leave a link in the description. So make sure to go check those out as well. Follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff will be in the description. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.